Charging my Sony camera batteries is always a headache and takes forever. So when I saw this battery charger, I knew I had to try it out because I've never seen anything quite like it before. So before we dive into all the details of this new charger, let's take a look at what I've been using. This charger came with my Sony FX3, and it's the actual, Sony branded official charger for the Sony NPF Z100 batteries, which are these batteries that come with all the new modern cameras like the FX3, FX30, all the new Sony Alpha line. There's a couple problems with a charger like this. The first one, as you can see, is that it only holds one battery. And if you're doing video like I am, you know that you use a lot more than one battery on your shoots. So when it comes to the end of your shoot, and let's say you've got something you got to film in the morning, well, you've got to turn around your battery charging a lot quicker than that, and you don't want to be up all night swapping batteries off of the charger. Another thing that I don't like about the Sony battery chargers is the indicator. So when you want to know how charged it is, there's just 3 little ticks. I want to know exactly where the battery percentage is so I can get an idea how much longer it's going to take to finish charging. Another problem that I've personally ran into is that sometimes it just doesn't charge the battery all the way, even when I'm using the Sony OEM batteries, not third-party ones. Sometimes they come off the charger and they're not charged all the way. So I don't know if it's a fault of the battery itself or the charger, but it is something that I've noticed. The final shortcoming of the Sony battery charger is that you can only plug it into an outlet. So if you're traveling and you likely don't have an outlet on you, you can't throw this into USB-C or a power bank or something like that. You're gonna have to find an outlet to be able to recharge your camera batteries. Now let's look at the other battery charger that I've been using for years. This is the one that actually came with some third-party batteries that I bought. And if you buy them off Amazon, you've probably got a bunch of these little things as well. It's really compact and small, which I like. It just flips out and you can plug it right into the wall, but there's a couple problems with this. One is that sometimes, depending on where I've got it plugged in, see it kind of overhangs, and if it's a heavy battery, it can sometimes fall out of the outlet. Because of that, sometimes it loses that strong connection and doesn't charge fully. But really one of the biggest problems I've had with this type of charger is when you actually put the battery on. Sometimes it doesn't seat really well and doesn't start charging, and I'll actually have to kind of press it down to see the little charge light come on. And that's it. It'll just be a little yellow indicator, and when it's done, it'll go green. It's really, really low level tech here. If you plug this in certain spots, it could block another outlet like the one below here. So you've seen the 2 main battery chargers that I've been using over the years, and they're slow, they're cheap, they're not very reliable, and I don't know why I've never upgraded them before. So let's take a look at what I'm using now, and this is the Lanno Dual battery charger. You're gonna be charging up your batteries twice as fast already because you're doing 2 birds, 1 stone, and it's also a fast charger, so it can accept up to 18 watts input. So it'll recharge both of these batteries from 0 to 100% in about 2 to 3 hours. Putting the batteries into the charger feels really secure because it's molded to fit them exactly. So it just slides in and then you press down and you've got a good firm connection. And that's nice because you know it's not gonna fall off the front of the charger or come up or anything like that. So I'll put both of them in just like this. And then you can already see on the front of this that there's a little LCD that displays what battery percentage you're at exactly. And right now, both of them are showing that they're charged to 100%. So this is really nice because there's no guesswork. You're not just getting like little green ticks and you're like, okay, it's showing 3, but is that 95%, 90%? What is that? And when the LCD turns off, you can just press this little button here and then you can see the battery percentage. Now, something I really love here is this little top flap. It's actually magnetic, so it just snaps into place really nicely and it's pretty satisfying. So you don't have to worry about it just like flying open on you or anything like that because it's got that magnetic pole on it. It does keep it enclosed and keeps your batteries from falling out. Besides it storing 2 batteries, there's also an SD card slot. So if you want to keep a spare SD card in here, you can just throw this in right here and it spring loads into place and close it up. So that's nice and secure. You've always got 2 extra batteries and an SD card on you, which are always things you need on a shoot. Then when you're done with the shoot, all you have to do is bring this over to your computer, recharge these batteries, and then drop your SD card. So it's kind of nice keeping everything together in this little package. When it comes to the actual build quality of the charger, it feels really solid, and it's actually really nice to handle because it has this nice soft touch coating on it. Feels like it's made of some sort of silicone that makes the whole thing just feel very, very premium. Now, besides the LCD on the front and the little button for turning it on, really the only other main thing on it is this USB-C port, and that is actually used for plugging it in to recharge the batteries. So something to be aware of is that when you throw the batteries in here, they don't start recharging automatically. There's no internal battery built into this charger itself. And that is something that Lanno has said. They're gonna make a new version that does have its own internal battery, which is pretty cool because then you can just throw these in and it'll have that extra juice in it. Really similar to AirPods or the Rode wireless mics where you just throw them in and it starts charging. It does come with its own USB-C cable, which is nice. You obviously probably have a lot of these already laying around, but you simply just plug it in here, and then it does not come with its own brick. So that's something to be aware of. You are gonna need a little USB power brick. On my little power strip here, it does have USB-C, so I can just plug it in there. There's a little yellow lightning bolt that blinks to let you know that it's charging. Something you may have already noticed is that now that I've got this plugged in and charging, the battery percentages have a different readout. So right now this is saying it's at 94% and 99%, whereas when this isn't plugged in, it was saying that both of them are at 100%. So you can see that now, 100, 100. So there's a slight variance there. I'm not sure exactly what's happening. So if you want to get a very accurate reading of your batteries before a shoot, I do recommend actually plugging in the case so you can see exactly where they're at. Now, because this uses USB-C for recharging, that gives you a lot of options. So if all you have on you is your laptop, well, you can just plug this into the USB-C port on your laptop and start recharging your batteries, which is pretty cool because I've never had a charger before, like these old ones, that I could recharge up with USB-C. The fastest option that I've seen is just using a little USB brick. Now, this is one that I picked up. I just think it's the cutest thing ever. It's a little Macintosh USB brick, and then it has little prongs that flip down and a USB-C port on top. So this is one I use all the time, but I just plug this in to the outlet, and then you can use the included cable that comes with it, or you can use your own USB-C cable. So I wanna show you that. This is the actual Apple USB-C cable. You can see here that this USB-C cable does work for actually recharging the batteries. Okay, one of the final setups I wanna show you for recharging these batteries is actually using a portable power bank. So if you are off grid, say you're out hiking in the mountains or somewhere really remote, you're not gonna have somewhere to plug this in. So carrying something like this is a really great option. And this is just a simple power bank I picked up years ago from Anker, and it's got a USB-C port on there. So I just plug it in, and you can see this thing has already started recharging. Now, I do wanna compare this to one other option that I bought recently, and this is a Smallrig Dual battery charger that comes with 2 Smallrig batteries. So this is the only thing that I've found so far that's comparable. Now, something to note is that this is very similar in size to the old charger that I used to use, but it is just a little bit better. Now, it doesn't have a way to flip out and just plug this into an outlet or anything like that. It actually comes with a little built-in USB cable that's USB-A. So you can plug this into something like this. This little power strip has USB ports, and you can start recharging. Now, if you don't want to use this USB cable because it's going to be pretty slow at only up to 5 volts, you can actually use USB-C. So you could plug that in here and then plug this into something with USB-C. So grab this little guy again. So you might be wondering, how do I pick between the 2 different options? So I want to dive into this Smallrig charger that I bought a little bit more. Now, when you have the batteries plugged in, the only thing that it shows you is these little rings. So I can see that this is charging. It's kind of blinking, but I don't know what battery percent it's at. Now, something else about this charger is that it's not something you're going to want to throw into your backpack and charge your batteries, because it would be pretty easy for these to just slip out and stop charging on you because they're not in a case, they're just sticking up like this. This is a good option, I think, if you're gonna be at a home base or in your hotel. You can just throw this down and know that they're gonna charge fine. But if you are on the go and you want something more secure for recharging your batteries in a Pelican or a backpack, this is something where those batteries are not going to fall out and they're going to keep charging no matter which orientation you have them in your bag. When it comes to pricing, the Lanno Dual battery charger with 2 replacement batteries included is $99 right now on Amazon. And if you already have enough batteries and you want to get just the charger, it's $50 on Amazon right now. Whereas with the Smallrig Dual battery charger, it's $65 for 2 replacement batteries and the charger. I do think there's a place for both of these chargers in my kit. The Smallrig is really the one that just stays back at the studio, and the Llano is the one that I've been taking with me in my backpack and Pelicans to shoots. So what are the cons of the Lanno Dual battery charger? I think I've already mentioned most of them. One of them being that the battery percentage is a little bit different depending on whether or not it's actually plugged in. And the other one, that the price is going to be a little bit more expensive than some of the other chargers you can find on Amazon, for example. Overall, I'm really impressed with this new fast charger. So if you guys want to pick one up, definitely check out the links in the description below. And I want to say a special thanks to Lanno for sending this out for review. They didn't pay me to say any of this or sponsor the video. All right, I'll see you in the next one.